Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal, and today we have the moon going through Virgo, and it is a very good energy to attend the practicality of the matter, to create an order, to make or to create an organization, to focus in the habits that are helping us to give form to the reality that we truly want to experiment, and to create discernment of the habits that are not contributing with that. Also, it is a good energy to evaluate which are the steps that are required for developing a project or creating changes in the context of the new moon in Scorpio with this presence of Uranus. Also, the moon in Virgo in its shadow could mean at times not wanting to move forward until finding the perfect moment to do something from this ideal that doesn't exist. For people that are very structured, many times this energy could be linked with making a mistake or moving out a little bit of their planification or order and feeling very guilty. In other cases, perfectionism could provoke that people use that tiny deviations, let's say, as an excuse to abandon something. For example, if the person is creating a new habit of exercise, of or physical movement, and one day the person is not able to do that, he or she doesn't have energy, and the person ends up abandoning that because he or she cannot forgive the failure to themselves, failure with quotation marks, of course, because the important thing with whatever thing we want to sustain is consistency. This means that if one day something doesn't go out as we expected, it is only about coming back to the practice. And for the people that are too much structured, which is a way of control, it is about learning to flexibilize. Other people could have to learn, it is backwards. They have to learn to establish boundaries. So I am saying this because the moon is making this contact with the south node in Virgo and opposition with the north node in Pisces. And from the next week and on, we are going to have several contacts with karma nodes, with the lunar nodes, which are north node, the evolutionary point, to put it in some way, and the south node, the point of cleansing. And we are going to have tensions with planets in Sagittarius. For this reason and other ones as tensions with Saturn that we are going to talk about ahead, this final part of the year is implying like tests of choices, decisions that are remitting us to, that are invoking, continuing in a space that isn't allowing us to grow, or surrendering to a new form, much loving with ourselves and with everything that is surrounding us, of inhabiting reality. But today, specifically in this contact with the moon, between the moon and the south node, many times this could bring this excessive focus in scarcity, or in the things that we don't have and we would like to have, or in the things that we don't like about reality or ourselves, but not in a constructive way. So transforming that would be to ask ourselves if some of those circumstances are in our power to change, and to put energy in that if we feel that incoherence. Other aspect of this contact that it is important to take in account for the next days is having difficulties to retire the energy from places where we are trying to help, let's say, or where we are worrying too much because of other people's experiences, or we are trying to collaborate with others, but that is emerging from this seeking of being loved and need. Perhaps this is about interfering unconsciously in the paths of other people to repair on the outside what we need to attend in our reality. So in those cases, it is very important to turn back the energy to our own path, which is not a selfishness. On the contrary, this is the form of truly impacting and collaborating with a rebalance with everything that surrounds us, and in the end with the world too. This is the path that allows us to discover how we genuinely came here to help. But generally, this requires first learning to establish boundaries for the people that have been excessively in this position of others, self-knowledge, inhabiting their own self, precisely to not do that from spaces that are conditioned patterns that are disconnecting us from the love towards oneself, and for that reason they don't collaborate with other people, because those situations not only cause an energetical drain, also other people could turn too much dependent. This means that they are not growing, and we have to take we have to be aware about this, because at the beginning this could bring certain sense of satisfaction, sorry, because the conditioning makes us associate love with need, with necessity. I don't know if I'm inventing this word, could be, but sooner or later this starts to bother us. This is going to create discomfort or anger, and we could demand the other person to change when we are also feeling a dynamic. Or other case could be that the outside is not actually appreciating our help or the energy that we are giving, because they are reflecting that it is not there where we need to position that energy. And as we are experimenting already the new moon in Scorpio, these tiny acts or focus that we could do in the outside that are not coherent with ourselves could remove emotions in a very intense way. Also, we could have conversations or words that are emitted but not from the best place. It is also important to have in account that if there are people that are experimenting important changes, or they are going through grief, they are going through an ending, many times the focus on other people or things on the outside is a way of escaping from that pain. So I think that the practice is simply asking oneself if that what we are doing, or that we are dedicating our energy, is something that is aligned with our growth, with our soul path, and to open ourselves to that inner truth, even if sometimes could be uncomfortable. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.